We're live. Hello. Welcome to hour 47 of Adventurers Wanted. Woo! And I stand by my comments about pencils. This is hour 47 of Adventurers Wanted. We're not even halfway. Grief. I'm tired. I'm Chris. I will be your DM for the next hour where we play Dungeons and Dragons. Woo! Yeah! Wicked! We are in hour 47, and this is a continuous story. We have been playing this campaign for 47 hours, so you are literally diving in just under halfway through the story, which obviously means some of you will be confused, and that is totally fine. We have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement in the audience, and that also means you can shout out from the audience and be a panto audience. Let's have a test. Can you be a panto audience? Fine, that'll do.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, why not?
Good, lovely. We have this relaxed attitude to sound and movement, not only for that, but also because for the people who could not be still or silent for an hour. In that same vein, the lighting will stay exactly the same. If you need to pop out at any point, those two doors you came in through are, and Leo is about to go out through, that door there! Oh, look at that. There's a nice foyer space outside with sweet company members who wear black and red t-shirts. Grab one of them if you need assistance. If you need assistance in the room, our stage manager, Nemo, who is right there, is available in case you need anything. Just grab their eye or grab their attention. Don't grab them. Right.
But there might be some loud sound effects during this hour.
Oh, that's right. We're not that relaxed this hour. My bad. There are going to be some loud sound effects because Wilhelm's in the back. There we go. Lovely. We'll have loud sound effects throughout the hour, so it's not entirely relaxed. I read the wrong script. Good. What are we doing? We are playing Dungeons and Dragons. What does that mean? Is anyone here uninitiated? Good! This is a great start. This is what we want. Cool. What happens is, you four play characters in a shared universe, and I play the shared universe. I play everything in it, everyone you encounter, everything that happens, and so I don't abuse my awesome power. They have character sheets which let them do awesome things in front of them. We'll try and avoid the maths. And they also use dice to try and make things happen in a more random, interesting fashion. The most commonly used dice is a d20, or an icosahedron, as our other DM, Leo, likes to say. That means it is 20-sided, so if a 1 turns up on the dice, it is bad. If a 20 turns up on the dice, it is good. Feel free to cheer or boo, depending on how you feel about the people who rolled. That is your prerogative. Before we get into the story too heavily, I would like to use this opportunity to go around the table and meet our players. Can you please give me your name, what pronouns you use, your character's name, what pronouns they use, and a bit about them? Simon.
Me first?
You first.
My name is Simon Mader.
Yes, it is.
I'm playing a character called Constance Payne. He is a dwarf barbarian, and he has a big hammer. He's kick-ass. Pronouns he, him.
Thank you.
My name is Mark. My character is a dragonborn druid called John Hisborn. He loves animals. Consider him Peter with claws.
He, hims as well?
Yes.
Thank you. Dom.
I'm Dominic Allen. I'm playing Testus Windbotherer, a human sorcerer with gaseous powers of the lower intestine. I have also recently grown a vestigial third arm out of my chest after a run-in with the Lovecraftian horror. It's going well.
It's fair to say Tess is my favourite character.
We are both he, hims.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'll be your newbie for this evening.
Excellent.
This afternoon. I am playing a dwarf barbarian by the name of Sir Tarquin Beresford. He's extremely violent, prone to rage, and he's a terribly, frightfully angry, short man. And we both use he, him, but he would prefer sir if possible.
That is your prerogative, sir, and is added to my sheet. Lovely! Let me catch you up on the story. The four players to my left and right are members of a rebellion against a terrible cult of a horrible, evil, eldritch god, which 5 years ago turned up, destroyed everything, then fucked up again. The cult were vanquished by the rebels. They managed to defeat it and push it back beyond their borders, the borders of their country, Deriland. But now, unfortunately, the cult is back. and some horrible Lovecraftian monsters, things they have never experienced before, have been destroying the town of Lee Glen, and some survivors are now trickling into the capital city of Goldcrest, speaking of the unspeakable horrors, somehow. Yeah, thanks. It's a good one. I like that one. Constance, John, Sir Tarquin. The three of you are in Goldcrest. You have been part of this rebellion for some time and are probably helping with some of the refugees. How would you be helping the refugees?
Counselling.
How are you counselling, Constance?
Well, Constance knows a bit about what they're going through. He recently lost his wife and he's out for vengeance.
Yeah, we're aware. You've said it every time.
Yeah, it's important. It's a big character motivation for him. So he is basically, he's counselling any refugees that might have lost loved ones and spouses in particular, because that's his area of expertise. But counselling in revenge, not in actual healing.
Okay. I mean, it was bordering into
He's training an army.
Okay, that's cool. Fine. It was bordering into creepy and then you brought it back. It's cool, that's fine. John, how are you dealing with this scenario unfolding?
I would probably be helping the other druid.
The other
Larksby.
druids? Larksby, yeah.
Well, specifically, he would be doing the herbology thing.
Yep.
I'd be trying to do the same thing with animals. There's got to be an animal shelter here somewhere.
I think you could very easily be talking to the birds, talking to the animals, and possibly scouting out what's going on and when this army is approaching. I think I will allow you that role if you would like it.
Thank you.
Excellent. Sir Tarquin, how does Sir Tarquin prepare for the oncoming onslaught?
Well, mostly I'm improving morale by letting people see that the social standing's still in order, allowing people to touch my finery, which I think is doing them a lot of good. I occasionally lift weights that are gold-plated.
Yeah, they're really happy about it. There are people around you going, "Yay, Sir Tarquin!" I rolled well. Yay! And there is a certain amount of, despite the oncoming disaster, a certain amount of joy in the streets that Sir Tarquin, of all people, is there to save the day.
People touching your clothes.
It's like that bit in the Superman film where they all just sort of reach towards him.
Or that bit in Game of Thrones where they all sort of try and reach up to her. She's crowd surfed along them in some way that's meant to be meaningful. Right. Hestus! You and your allies are running out of the woods towards Goldcrest ahead. You have seen horrors, unspeakable horrors. How do you feel?
I feel, I have seen horrors, but I've also grown this third arm, which I've become quite attached to.
It's stroking your beard.
I've already
continually stroking his beard while he does things, always looking slightly like he's thinking.
and it just pokes up underneath the shirt like that. I've already, in the last hour, I executed a cartwheel with it quite well.
You did?
Very, very
fair.
pleased.
Yeah.
So it's, it's up and down. I'm terrified, but slightly optimistic.
You and your allies have joined a trail of refugees entering the town through the main gate. There are 3 gates to Goldcrest. The Nor Gate, which is in the north, unsurprisingly. The Beggar's Gate, which is in the east. And the Crown Gate to the south. Not Cowgate, Crown Gate. Alright? And that's very clear. So, you can choose to enter by any 3 of the major gates.
Which is nearest and has the least traffic going?
You are coming from the west. I describe games in the north, east and south. What do you think?
Which has the least traffic was my question.
Oh, I see. The east gate, because it's the other side of town from where the refugees are coming from.
I see. That means going all the way around the other side.
It does.
Well, we'll just go through the nearest gate and say, "Get out of the way!"
Do you wave your third arm?
Yeah.
Cool, roll intimidation check with advantage, because oh my god.
That's not very good. That's a 10.
With advantage.
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
Sorry, at least he rolls twice, it takes the higher number.
That's a 12.
In the back, behind this crowd of people, excuse me! Just waving around with 3 arms, flailing wildly. You did manage to make your way through the crowd, but a bit more slowly than you would have hoped.
No. Well, that's all right.
Yeah, you'll get
But there in the end. Hopefully before the horrible monsters.
You push your way into town through this stream of refugees, and you see the guards around you are desperately trying to push these people forward as The scouts have reported, mostly via bird's eye view, that the cult are approaching with unspeakable horrors, and as you look to the west, you can see the sky and this horrible lilac storm cloud approaching, and with it brings this buzzing swarm of these byakhee, these insectoid riding mounts with various cultists riding them. And from the ground inside the forest, you can, from the distance, just about hear the cracking of trees as something gigantic barrels its way through it.
Oh God.
How would the four of you like to prepare for what can only be described as the onslaught?
Well, I'll certainly tell them that what I've seen.
You will easily find your three allies, who are the only ones currently in the story, dealing with this. The various NPCs in charge of the... Sorry, non-player characters, or me. The various members of the council, all in charge, are either trying to shore up defences, they are trying to brace walls or rebuild areas, because the cult was only recently pushed away. Some of the walls still need defending. Or, Simon in particular, who is in charge, is talking about evacuation.
Yeah, so I say, well, there's these three great big blob things that got loads of eyes, and they're like bulldozers crushing things. There's swarms of thousands of these horrible insect things, and then there's this huge tube-like horror that gets in your head and grows arms out of your chest.
So the odds are in our favour.
Look, in all seriousness, if you think that this is something we can't face, then we have to fall back. Holmwood seems the obvious place. It's up in the hills, hard for them to get to.
But, I mean, yes, we're going to have to face it sooner or later, though. Aren't we?
Yeah, but this isn't exactly favourable ground. We're in the middle of nowhere
Oh,
with
I
no
agree.
hills around us.
I
We're up a
set
mountain.
off to attack.
Really?
Ooh, don't.
Don't try and stop me. I hope someone stops me.
I grab him by the arm and go, you haven't seen what I've seen.
Oh.
Look. I get my arm out.
He's got a third arm. In the middle of his chest, stroking his beard.
I pulled it out with my own hand.
My God. I think twice and I, for the first time in my life, shoulder my hammer without having killed something.
Okay. So Tarquin, the people around you are looking nervous despite your obvious resplendence. And they are...
I applaud.
Some of the town elders are considering evacuation over fighting. What do you say? You are clearly a man who can stand and deliver. Please stand and deliver.
Stand.
No, stand.
Okay. I am a dwarf, though.
First time playing D&D. I love you. Go on.
So, I hope you can all see me at the back. In my glorious gold lining cloak. That'll make you feel better. Now, I am awfully strong. Stronger than probably anyone in here. I'm happy to arm wrestle you if you're nervous, just to prove how safe hands you're in.
Don't arm wrestle him.
No, you can only use one arm when you arm wrestle, that's fine.
But what is he doing with the other two?
Cheering himself on, apparently.
Fair enough.
I'm starting to think my third arm might take on a sort of Dr. Strangelove quality.
But
It's entirely your choice.
But you think that running away is the best way to deal with these scruffy ruffians with their weird betentacled faces, and I say, I've seen tentacles before, and they don't half mess up your clothes, so I think I should just use my incredible strength and just bash through the back wall, not through a gate, and will escape through an unexpected route. I'm not very clever.
Okay, just so we're aware of the geography, they're approaching from the west. There is no west gate. So unless you want to bash through a random wall in a random direction, there are plenty of gates you can go through.
Basically, I think the wall next to the east gate. I need to make a show of my strength to rally the people.
Okay.
I'm sold.
You can rage because you are a barbarian.
Well, I am very angry at the
There we
situation.
go.
I'm miffed even.
So, while raging, can you make an attack roll for me, please? Roll a 20-sided dice and add the number next to your warhammer, I believe.
My warhammer, that's a +7.
Excellent.
It's a Rolex warhammer, so it's very good. and I throw it on the floor, and I score 2 + 7, 9.
You make an incredible speech. You walk up to the wall. Tunk! The wall does not move.
Then I go, you see, my resplendence.
I surround him. It's because you're all looking. Don't pressure him.
Simon, standing behind all of you, just looking at this with somewhat baffled bemusement. Right, I'm going to take people back up to Holmwood. I think I can probably get most people out before it gets here.
Oh,
can you
I've got an idea.
start the process of holding them off? We've got all these allies in town. You're welcome to find assistance.
Is it possible? Where we are, if we're here, where and they're coming. These things are coming from the west.
From the west, yes.
As I'm looking at over here. Where are we? Where's Holmwood? Where are we sending
North.
these refugees? So we're going up here.
Yes.
So would it be possible or helpful if we really draw these things attention, all these refugees, all these people going north, but we keep some of our best people in wait so that we can get behind them and sort of come at them from both sides?
So just the lords and ladies going from the other guy, the best people.
Well,
You want to? Okay, so you want to?
the most gifted
Hang
and
on,
violent.
Simon. You want to have a pincer attack with fleeing rebels, with fleeing children and women?
Well, look, we're going to have to send them north anyway,
Correct.
So
Why
what
don't
I'm
you draw them south instead?
or whatever. But we need to dupe these horrible things
All right.
into going north, into changing their trajectory, so they don't hit this town. So then we've got people behind them as well. Because when I saw them, I mean, I didn't get a really close look at them, but they were moving sort of very slowly, bulldozer movement. I think coming from behind and in front will give us the edge.
Is there anything we can send north, like some sort of illusion, or I don't know, something?
We don't want them to go north. They
Break
don't.
wind.
They don't necessarily know where Holmwood is. We don't want them to know where we're going. Look,
yeah,
all right. Here's this as a thought, because that was a terrible plan. Why don't?
I'm sorry, the last plan we had was knock a wall down.
I am very good at plans.
Why don't the lot of you and maybe some other powerful warriors stay behind in Goldcrest, defend it, let them think that we're putting all our forces here, and then when the time is right, flee and join us in Holmwood to the north.
We might die.
Do I
Yeah,
have
we
any of
might
my
die
servants
too.
with me? I could sacrifice them. 1 or 2.
Perfect. That sounds ideal. Right. We'll take the women and children, and a contingent of barbarians, contingent of the elf rangers, and some of the sorcerers can stay behind with you guys and help defend Goldcrest. But then fall back the moment you feel like you're not going to be able to hold it any longer. Just give us time.
Right. Well, I will, but I think we will end up falling back, and then they will know where we are. And
Not
there's
necessarily.
nowhere else to run to.
It might take them more time.
Well,
Who knows?
I think we'll need
All
a
right.
plan B.
Simon, who is in charge of this whole thing anyway, starts leading a large group of women and children and men who don't want to fight.
I didn't
Sorry,
vote
it's
for
very
him.
sexist of me. A large group of people out to the north. And his orange skin reflects the sun. No. You are slowly pushing these people out of town, and a group of you behind are all battle hardened. You are both. No, you're not. You're a dwarf barbarian. You're both a dwarf barbarians, and you have a tribe of your people around you. I mean, you're one of the.
One of the elites.
One of the elites, yes,
Indeed.
you're one of the elites. You name it, nothing else. And Constance, you're one of the other kind of elite, the ones who actually do stuff. So between the two of you can easily corral these dwarves to fight together, maybe set up an ambush or something similar. Testus, you are part of a sorcerer's academy that could very easily work with them. And you, as a druid, would know the elven rangers in the forest where you lived when you were younger. So together you can come up with a plan of attack of how to deal with this encroaching army that, if your bird spies are still talking back to you, has now cleared the woodlands, and big flying swarms and these horrible black globs are just pouring across the landscape, bulldozing everything in sight.
I mean,
Can I hope the pack I met before, the direwolf pack, may possibly be joining up?
You could send a bird message to the direwolf pack. I would allow that.
Definitely doing that.
Cool.
Once the Biaki get close enough, would it be possible for us to use our wind magic to disrupt the wind against us? Keep them
Absolutely.
at bay?
You have the ability to guide the storm, as do they, so you could very easily make their flight more difficult. And you and your sorcerers together could probably affect the entirety of Goldcrest.
I go to Tarquin.
Yes.
I kneel and pledge my allegiance,
As it should be.
Forever.
Yes.
holding my hammer. I say, "What should we do, sire? Should we attack head on, risking our lives, as I know you would want.
I mean, that is awfully fun. Do we send any of the peasants just to be food to distract them first?
Peasants have all left town.
I shall gladly sacrifice my life.
Oh, great! I was hoping you'd say that, but I do like to hit things too, so I'll be just a couple of steps behind.
I
The
knew
dwarf
you would
barbarians
be,
are going
Lord.
out of presumably the south gate to face on this approaching horde that, as you walk out the south gate and look, is so much bigger than the 20-odd dwarven barbarians that are left.
Rolex hammer.
All right. That is your prerogative. It is your decision.
Yep, I'm there. I stand.
You're standing
stand
by the
my
south
ground.
gate.
I'm awfully excited to be hitting things with you.
And we can try and keep the flying things at bay with the wind,
Yes.
so that we can deal with the blobs first.
Interesting.
I'm going to ask the rangers to take position on the battlements. I'm assuming there are walls.
Yes, there
high
are 30-foot
places.
walls around the entirety of the town. That is
I would
correct.
ask the rangers to stand on the nearest point.
And fire
keep
arrows
them at
down.
bay.
Sure. Are you going to join them?
I am hoping that the Dyers would turn up, and if need be, we'd be able to possibly help the barbarians get back into the city.
I see.
Because I have a suspicion this could go horribly wrong.
Really? Why? No.
Oh, no reason.
No. Okay.
How much time have we got before they're going to get here? Is it,
Half an hour-ish.
Oh. Are there any books? I just wondered
Books! You think books will save you now?
What kind of books are we talking about
I'm
here?
just curious if I can find out any information about these blob things, that like any sort of weakness they have, whether it's fire, acid, anything that we should be aiming for.
Salt.
Salt?
Gold-lined cloaks. I bet that's the one.
Opulence is their weakness.
Trickle down wealth.
You have experienced some of these creatures before. I will allow you a history check to try and remember anything about them that might be useful.
Come on.
Concentrate.
That's a 19. Plus 2. That's a 21.
21.
Yeah.
You saw them burrowing their way around Leaglen and destroying everything around them. You know that some of the qualities they possess, some of this ooze-like quality, also means that they have an acidic touch, an acidic quality. So maybe acid isn't the best idea. That's all you can glean from your knowledge of this time.
If only AA batteries had been effectively an alkali. Is there any Rennies?
It's a deep old cut, that is.
I know a lot about stones.
Yeah, dwarf.
Do I know anything about the surrounding area? Can I check to see if I know anything about the surrounding area where I might find alkali in the rocks and earth?
What's your intelligence score there, Simon?
Oh, it's good. Adam, 10.
10. I don't think you know how to spell the word alkaline.
Oh, let's fight.
There we go. Would you want to go and try and find alkaline in the rocks around you?
I mean,
It is your prerogative. I will not stop you.
But for me, a history check when related to the origin of stone, that's got nothing to do with it.
Alkaline's not stone, man.
well, I mean, if they're using acid to melt the stuff in front of them, maybe a good rainstorm would slow their progress.
Oh, interesting thought. You and your storm sorcerers could easily start it raining.
Sort of dilute the acid a bit. I'll give it a go.
Splendid.
Can't hurt, can it?
As it looks like the battle is about to start, and we have flashes of Helm's Deep before us, rain starts to fall from the sky, and thunderous rain clouds are forming amongst all of you, rain pattering off armour. There it is. It's very cinematic. As you all stand ready, the elves on their battlements. If it's all right with you, John, I'm going to say that you are on the battlements for now to observe as best you can. Rain dripping from their armour as they hold their bows ready with arrows on them. The dwarves by the south gate are ready to run in and attack from the side, as this force approaching will be heading directly in from the west and therefore smashing into the side of the town. Where are you, Testus? Where are the sorcerers? Where have you placed them as they're causing this wind to fall all round you?
I suppose we'd be on the battlements as well. I think we
Okay.
want the advantage, because most of our stuff is rain, and most of our
Storm
aggressive stuff is range anyway. So,
Range, yes.
So yeah. I
You note
guess.
that a lot of the sorcerers are deferring to you a little, almost like you are seen as something of a leader.
Well, I do have 3 arms.
Can we, are we at a sort of a portcullis, like a gate or something?
Yes, on the
Can
south
we,
gate.
can we close that?
You may absolutely step through and take out any recourse or exit you may have, yes.
Sire, do you think you should probably be in front of the gate so that people really rally round your bravery?
Well, I think if there's people to be rallied, I'm exactly the one with my incredibly poor charisma.
Which I'm going to say was evident from the start. There we go. Good. On the battlements, the two of you and with your sorcerers and elves watch as these Shoggoth, these horrible masses of flesh, black warped with eyes pitted and growing out of them, are moving forward towards the western wall of the town. Dwarves, the portcullis has been lowered. You are standing on the outside of town, ready to rush in and attack, and the air above you starts to thicken with these horrible buzzing creatures all looking to fly down and attack. Anyone like to make any final actions before we dive into this?
Think about my dead wife. That's it.
What was her name?
Clara.
Because last time you forgot it, remember?
Can I get my butler Dennis to give my warhammer just one last polish?
It is raining, so...
I like it to be clean.
Well, it is raining, so it is already relatively clean, but he does give it a quick shine.
Wax as well.
A wax.
A wax for the wax.
A wax for the wax. Very good. Testus, you look like you're pawing through spell sheets nervously.
I lost 4 hit points in the last hour. They're still...
You could have had a short rest by now, I'd say. Just make it,
Just, maybe 4 hit points might make all the difference. Or not. You never know. There was one other thing I was just thinking, but I can't remember what it is. Never mind.
Anything you'd like to do before this happens, John?
How far away are these things now?
They will soon approach the 120-foot mark, which is when combat will be joined, because then an effect happens.
Desperately looking to see if my pack has turned up yet.
Your pack has turned up, yeah.
Do I happen to know if they speak a language, these things?
You would have no idea if they did.
I will shout in primordial as a guess. Go away! You never know, it might work.
Or you will fart in their general.
Yeah. We will fart in your general direction.
I think with
Primordial sounds very French, actually.
With that, as the sky around you darkens even further, you can see this faint green light glowing out of these horrific monsters as they surge towards the wall ahead of you. And as they get within 120 feet of the wall, I need all 4 of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I have a D20.
You want any dice?
Do you want something more?
Oh,
I have a bag of dice.
A bag of dice.
A bag
oh
of dice.
good.
Yeah.
I've been proven very wise.
Please tell me what you rolled on the dice.
3.
A 3, splendid.
But I do have a +1, so it's 4.
4, splendid.
Yes, I'm awfully wise.
Yes.
12.
12.
19.
19 for
20.
Constance. 20 for Constance.
24 unmodified.
24 unmodified. Excellent. Yeah, doesn't matter. 24. Right, 24. The two of you, seeing these horrible creatures approach, you feel in your hearts that your pack is coming. You know they will be here, and all you have to do is wait, and they will get there within time, and you feel that strongly within you. Constance, you've seen worse. The rage! The rage fills you! Testus, Sir Tarquin, you are both terrified.
It is scarier than I was expecting.
As an in-game effect, what that means is you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. While you can see a Shoggoth, you also cannot move closer than you currently are to the source of your fear.
I close my eyes. Draw back the curtain.
Can I get Dennis to audio describe things whilst I blindfold myself?
Are you ready to charge, sire?
What I will say is that if you close your eyes and effectively blind yourself, you also have disadvantage, so it makes no difference.
Yes, fair enough.
All right.
No. Lovely. And as they
Dennis, you're useless.
There's a really horrible thing. It's coming Coming closer.
And as they approach, you hear a horrible, gravelly... as these creatures just gravel the ground beneath them as they move forward, crushing what's left of some poor gates and farmsteads, just being smooshed underneath as these creatures come forward. And as that happens, I need all 4 of you to roll initiative, please. Oh, great. I rolled brilliantly.
So you add your dexterity.
I guess I'm going to be watching this
Dexterity.
one.
Oh, what did you
That's
roll?
a +1, man.
5? Okay.
That's
Anyone roll above a 25?
no.
Anyone roll above a 20? Anyone roll above a 15?
Yes. 17.
17 for Testus. Anyone roll above a 10? Jesus, guys, okay. Excellent. Anyone above a 5?
9!
9. 8. 9. And John, you rolled a 5, is that
Yes.
correct? Lovely. Boring maths out of the way, let's get into it. Testus! As it all happens before you, you can command the sorcerers with you to aid you or even do something on your turn, which is now. What would you like to do?
I think we should all. What's the best thing to do?
I mean, you're going first, so make it snappy.
Lightning bolt them. Boom!
You want a series of lightning bolts to come blasting off the walls into,
Yep.
into the Shoggoth?
Into the Shoggoths.
Into the Shoggoths. Okay, can you do me... it's a dexterity saving throw from the Shoggoth, but it's friggin' gigantic, so it's definitely going to fail that. Correct. So, can you please roll me the 8d6 for lightning damage, and we'll multiply it by 20.
8d6.
It won't be enough. There's 3 of them. 3 Shoggoths.
Yeah.
Also, there are things flying through the sky that come later in the initiative order. Yeah.
We're the idiots that they picked to lead this whole thing.
Yeah.
8, rolling 8.
How dare you call me an idiot?
I'm sorry, Lord.
Remember 15.
15.
And 14 plus 15 is 29.
29. Lightning bolts come ricocheting off the walls. The sky, thunderous already, is now reflected as lightning comes pouring from all the sorcerers, pouring directly into the first Shoggoth. As they pour into one, it starts to sputter and hiss as various bits of it start splitting off and being destroyed, as the first one is damaged considerably by this incredible assault. However, there are 2 more behind it, so you know, good stuff. This first one, though, has taken a significant amount of damage.
I've got 2 more where they came.
Splendid. However, out of the skies, sorcerers and elves on the battlements, the horrible buzzing of these Bayaki now means that there are... I mean, I'm not going to be too harsh. There are a lot of them currently swarming over you, stabbing, biting, trying to get you all to avoid this situation. They don't do an awful amount of damage. They manage to cut through some of the elves as they go. 1 or 2 are knocked off battlements and fall, but at this point they seem to have been more sweeping past than doing a huge amount of damage as they go. Constance, what would you like to do? Yep.
I shout at all the barbarians,
Yep.
and I shout, "Soldiers, for your lord, for your sire, for your king, for Tarquin!" And I charge.
Do the barbarians charge with you?
They better.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
-1.
I'm alone, and I run.
Constance, you presumably rage
Oh, for sure.
and start running, howling with the wind. Tarquin, it is your turn right after his. You are currently terrified, and the other dwarves are looking to you for guidance. What would you like to do?
I am terrified.
You personally are terrified,
But
yes.
he is running in, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Ooh. And we have closed the portcullis behind
you
us,
have.
haven't we?
There are miles of open field behind you could easily run into and disappear, but I recommend not doing that.
It seems like a terrible thing. Well, I am going to try and remind the barbarians that I am their lord and they should be fighting
Roll a
to
persuasion
protect
check.
me. Which is the same as...
Yes,
The same -1, isn't
Same
it?
-1, yeah.
Okay, so, my barbarians, my men. I know he's not your leader, but you really should have listened to him. Everybody, charge! -1, that's 7.
Half the barbarians go charging after Constance and are heading forward. The other half are looking a little bit perturbed. This might be more than they can deal with, but we will come to that when we need to. Constance, you can run quite quickly, and you are now charging towards these Shoggoth. And as you charge toward them, you see out of the sky these horrible insectoid creatures are flying out of the sky and dive-bombing the wall where the sorcerers under elf rangers are. Would you like to do anything, or are you just charging straight for the Shoggoth?
Straight for the Shoggoth.
You charge straight towards the Shoggoth, and we will come back to that on your next turn, as it is about a bit faster than you. Interesting. John, what would you like to do? You can also control the elf rangers at this point.
At this point, I would ask them to start taking pot shots at the flying critters.
Lovely, they start shooting. They do well! Half of them manage to hit very well, and quite a few of these insectoid creatures are falling from the sky, taking damage, or arrows sticking out of them as they swoop over you and curve around for another pass. What would you like to do first?
I would like to cast protection from energy on our lead barbarian.
What's the range of protection from energy? So 30 foot up, and he's running towards a Shoggoth that is about 50 feet away.
He's 60 if I remember correctly.
60,
so
I'll allow
she's
it.
still-
As he runs towards them, you cast protection from energy as he goes. What energy are you protecting him from?
Lightning.
Lightning damage.
As
Fascinating.
we currently
Okay.
have spells being fired left, right and centre.
That is correct. You now take half damage from lightning effects. Please be aware of that. Lovely. At which point, from around the outside of these Shoggoths, 2 of these horrible, tubular, almost barrel-shaped monsters called Elder Things are floating above the battlefield, watching this unfurl. And as they move forward, the horrible whispers start floating vaguely through your mind. Constance, make a wisdom saving throw.
Natural 20.
Yes! Nothing gets through your rage! You are not affected as you run forward, aiming straight for the lead Shoggoth, howling, your hammer in your hand. Splendid. Testus. Testus, what would you like to do?
A question about the Cloud of Daggers spell.
Mhm.
If we cast that, do we need to keep? Can we cast anything else in subsequent turns and keep it
Does it
going?
require concentration?
I don't know.
Does it require concentration? I can't remember.
Cloud of
Cloud
Daggers.
daggers. Rules! The exciting bit of this game! It does, doesn't it? You can still cast other spells that don't require concentration, but you can just have daggers floating above the city, eviscerating everything flying over it, which sounds pretty fucking cool if you ask me.
So my plan is if we all cast a 5-foot cube of Cloud of Daggers above us, it will
Yes.
protect us from the dive bombing. Yeah.
I believe it would, yes. Now, how do you cast a cloud of daggers? Because the other sorcerer are just going, yes, conjuring daggers into the air as you shout out your order, and these daggers start chopping through the air in a mad cloud. However, Tessus' cloud of daggers is somewhat different.
Yeah, I hunker down a little bit, and my stomach rumbles, and I strain myself ever so slightly, and a small whistling fart escapes me,
Hang on.
and then suddenly it's a bit moist. It still works, and as the vapors arise, they're full of the green vapors are full of sharp.
Sharp flatulence, we called it.
Sharp
at one point, didn't we?
flatulence, yeah.
Sharp flatulence. So there's all these daggers and a sort of horrible green sharp cloud floating them.
A cutting wind.
A cutting wind. A cutting wind. Splendid.
Good.
Lovely. They are now above you, floating in the air. All the sorcerers looking to defend themselves. The Bayaki flying overhead with people on back. Some are hit by this effect. Ooh, quite a lot of them are hit by this effect as quite a few of them fall from the air around you. Chopped pieces of Bayaki and some falling people.
And their eyes watering.
Do we have a Wilhelm scream? There we go. Some of them with eyes watering going, no, the smell! That happens as well. So you have quite a few of these being knocked out of the sky. Constance, you are charging headfirst towards a Shoggoth that is now closer than ever. You can reach it on your turn and you can attack it. Would you like to?
Yeah, go on.
You run full pelt, your hammer swinging, and leap and smash headfirst directly into this glowing amorphous mass. What would you like to do? Would you like to roll your attack rolls?
Yeah.
Please do. You roll with advantage. You're a barbarian and you are raging.
Oh, we've got. So one is 16 plus
That
7.
hits.
One is 11 plus
That
7.
also hits. Both of your strikes. Wet smacks against this creature that's already taken a significant amount of damage. Roll the damage on that, please.
Damage is 10.
It's a D10.
Oh, then it's plus 2 because I'm raging as well.
It is, yes.
Thank
We add all those numbers together.
So, it's 10 and 12 to 1.
Yes.
And 9, 10, 11.
11. 23 points of damage as you smash awful rents into this horrible amorphous form. You are basically making it split around you as you tear your way through it with your hammer, raging, screaming.
For Tarquin!
Shouting for Tarquin, not for Clara. How odd.
I am awfully attractive.
Wow. At the same time, barbarians are joining you. Some of them are falling beneath the incredible weight and rolling mass of this monster, but most are tearing their way into it, and it is looking like it has taken a considerable amount of damage.
We're
and
mining it.
You're mining it, that is correct. And it looks like it's coming apart at the seams. There are 2 more behind, but it looks like this one might be routed. At least for now. Tarquin, what are you up to, man?
Well, I'm looking at these elder things that are flying above. Are they flying, did you say?
They do, they have big...
And I just thought they were just so tacky. Tacky!
Wow.
And I got so angry about them being tacky.
Wow. You can still see the Shoggoths, so you are still scared of them.
I am scared, but I'm very annoyed by how tacky those are. And I look to Boris, my squire, and say, "Hand me my Versace javelin." For I shall throw it at that elder thing, and it shall know who I am. Whilst I'm defecating slightly.
Make an attack roll with disadvantage because you can see the Shoggoth.
Right. Right, it's attack, it's not strength, that's not a thing. Just going, next turn. I scored a 2!
You have to roll it twice and take the lower number.
Well, I wonder if I'll get a lower. I got a 5, so
No,
no,
you pull
no
out
point in
Versace
doing the
javelin,
math.
it goes about 10 feet. It's into the ground, and
Good shot, my lord!
you don't notice. It's miles away, and he's useless. at it.
Take that as a warning, thing!
What is your armor class at the moment?
Me? Ooh,
Yes.
14, yep.
That's not. As you do this, above you, you hear a voice whispering something horrible. At which point, I need you to make a strength saving throw, please. So roll a d20, add your strength saving throw at the top of your sheet. While I roll damage on this.
Plus 7, that is 13.
13. It is not enough. Black tendrils, horrible shadowy things grow out of the ground around you and wrap themselves all around you as a fire key lands next to you, and this horribly dressed figure in
It is you, mother!
plate armor with spikes out of it, with a horrible skull-faced helmet, at least that's what it looks like to you. Off steps a woman you've only heard about in myth and legend, the lady who runs this organization. Not your goddamn mother! Lady Mizov, who is in charge of this group. You are currently restrained as she stomps towards you. The barbarians who are near you are cowering in fear, stepping back. Would you like to say anything as she steps towards you, pulling a gigantic sword off her back and saying, "This is the only way"?
Are you sure? Because there are lots of options. For example, you could eat Dennis. He probably tastes lovely.
She takes a quick look at Dennis. Oh my god. Dennis is a commoner. She takes a quick look at Dennis. Doesn't even look at him. Just a sword comes out, impaling Dennis.
Do you know of any recruitment agencies?
Dennis coughs, still alive on the end of the sword, until he sinks onto it, turning to you briefly and going, "My lord," and then collapses. She wields a great sword one-handed. She is
Boris,
clearly
you've had a promotion.
So you
hope
choose
Dennis
not
was
to
ordered.
rally the barbarians around you.
Oh no, I
Make
definitely
jokes.
try that with my incredible charisma.
Go for it.
I hope Dennis was still audio describing all this.
Men,
Stab with the sword.
you saw what she did to dear old Dennis. You liked him. He told such wonderful stories. Are you going to let her get away with this? And also, she's ruffling my cloak.
Roll it.
5,
I'm going to give you this one instead.
18.
Tom, it's not like it matters now, my friend. The dwarven barbarians, seeing this horrific monster of a woman, this clearly in charge leader of the cult, completely paralyze Sir Tarquin and kill his poor associates, run away. And you are left standing by yourself with her there standing over you. On top of the battlements, you are managing to keep the Bayaki off, but they are swarming over you into town and are dive-bombing houses looking for targets, but there's no one there. And the frustration is clearly in them. The Shoggoth that you are taking on, you and the barbarians around you are managing to defeat one of them. You are smashing into it, warding off any damage it may have given you. Some barbarians fall at the sheer onslaught of the flesh rolling over them. There's a horrible squelch and a cry next to you as one of your allies is crushed underneath this beast. However, you hold your own and defeat this creature as, the other two come rolling towards the walls and start to impact and ooze around the edge, trying their best to break in. And that is where we end this hour.
I think I did well. I think it was.
Thank you ever so much for joining us. It is hugely appreciated. If you liked the show, spread the word about us on Twitter, Facebook, face-to-face with human beings. It's a thing. We're on Twitter at Adventurers250, where Nay and Nemo, our two stage managers, live tweet the show, which means you can literally read about what's happening in the show for the 4 hours a day that it's on. There's also GIFs and memes and other things I'm too old for, so do check them out and have a look and see if that's something you'd like. If you can't be here in person, that is the place to go, or twitch.tv, where we have a webcam set up, and the whole show is being live streamed apart from the first hour of today because tech. So you will be able to catch up on that on Twitter, but that first hour is lost to the annals of history, I'm afraid. It's never going to be seen again.
Like Tarquin.
He's just having a cuddle. It's fine.
Or, of course, you could come back and join us. The tickets are just £5 to be in the room. You can also buy player tickets and be like Tarquin. Don't be like Tarquin.
You want to be like me, I can tell.
Or like Mark over here as well. Have player tickets to come and join us in the game. If you're umming and ahhing about that and aren't sure if it's a fun thing to do, it is. It's very enjoyable.
I had a lovely time.
There we go. Also, there is a stereotype about how D&D players present and what you see from them, and we are a big part of trying to change that. We like to play with people of a complete variety. So whoever you are, whatever your interests are, come and play D&D. It's great fun. And we have a Patreon online, which is all about spreading that message. We do things online. We have free play events. We make games more accessible in Edinburgh, in London, and in Brighton. So if you can, do help us out there. There's also a donate button on our website if Patreon's too much of a commitment. And I understand that. It's a lot to take in one go. However, that is all I have to say. But before we go, I want to give all 4 of our players a round of applause, frankly. Lovely hour. And you all get a chance to pitch something that you're working on, either at home or at the Fringe. Just something you think this audience might enjoy. Please share with them. Start us off.
Nothing much that I'm actually
Do you
that
have
I
stuff?
can pitch at the moment.
No,
so
nothing.
No.
No,
Okay,
no
so I'm
worries
just
at all.
having. This was nice. Come back again.
There we go.
Yeah.
Dom.
Simon and I are in a show at the Fringe called Providence, The Shadow over Lovecraft. It's a horror comedy biography of H.P. Lovecraft, who created some of the monsters we've been fighting today. He's got an interesting story. It's on at 5 p.m. The Assembly Room's front room every day, except for today.
And there's a Skyrim joke. It's perfect for
There's
you
a
guys.
Skyrim joke.
Yeah.
There is.
You didn't write that one, did you?
And he couldn't get it cut either.
Go ahead, Simon. Actually, give us one line in your Lovecraft voice. It's so good.
Life is a hideous thing.
There we go. It's a good impersonation, actually. It's great. Off you go. What have you got to pitch? Apart from that, anything else?
Providence. See as much as you can at the Fringe. It's good to support the artists because it's tough out here, and spread the word about Adventurers Wanted.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Mark, anything to add?
If you like a cappella, go see the Alley Cats at Assembly Blue Rooms. I think they're 9th year on the run. Absolutely brilliant. It's a group of students from St Andrews, and they're brilliant.
Splendid.
Nice.
Something a bit different for the last there. Thank you, Mark. Very kind. Lovely. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you'd like to see what happens in the next hour and how they extricate themselves in this situation, go buy a ticket and join us. If not, thank you so much for your time, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Cheers, guys.